Hey everybody, this is Morgan Caraway of Eldritch Tentacles Games. Today I wanted to show you my new game, Deck of Darkness First Descent, and we're going to play through it and show you what it's like. So here are the things you'll need to play. You'll need the deck, you'll need a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, and you'll need a full set of polyhedral dice. So when I first got these decks, it turned out they printed everything in alphabetical order. This is from Drive-Thru Cards. So there's three basic groups of cards here. You have your hero cards, which have a tier 1 and tier 2 version of each hero. A tier is basically like 3 levels. And you see up on here, tier 1 is at the top. And as I said, these that have that on both sides, those are the adventurer cards. You have 3 of those, the Templar, the Hunter, and the Occultist. And then you have a little little legend card in here that shows you all the icons that are used on the cards and the basic card layout. And then you have monster cards, which have a monster on one side, and then they have the back on the back. Brilliant, isn't it? And you get all those separated into one pile. And then you have the ability cards, which have an ability on one side and that have the back on the back. And you make a separate pile of those. Ability cards on them show you which class the card is for. This right here indicates that this is for a mage, which the occultist is a mage. The bow indicates it's for a rogue, and the hunter is a rogue. And the sword indicates that it's for the Templar, who is a warrior. The enemy cards also have those markings on them to tell you which class they are, because each class attacks a little bit differently. So anyway, now I've got my abilities in one pile. I have my enemies in one pile. I'm going to shuffle a little bit to make sure they're mixed up from the last time I played. And I'm not going to do anything too wild, but just a little bit of light shuffling. And get those in a nice way. I left the queen of the deck in here, the spirit of the deck, and if we pull that, we're going to put it to the side because she is a tier 3 enemy. She's serious trouble. So here's all my ability cards. So every class starts out with 6 of the same cards. They start out with 3 attack cards. I'm going to get all these out of the deck. They start out with 2 defend cards. So this is going to be my hand for my party. And we get an empower card right here. That doubles the effectiveness of attacks and other things. And these are the basic cards that we'll always start with, regardless of what heroes we choose. And then I'm going to choose 2 heroes. And I'm going to choose the Templar. And I'm going to choose the Occultist. Those are going to be my heroes. And they're in marching order. The front column is the Templar. The Templar can only attack the first column of the enemy side. And I'm going to take the other ability cards. There's all 3 classes have ability cards in here. So since I'm not using the Hunter, I'm going to separate those cards out and put them to the side. And then I'm going to make 1 stack of the mage cards. You see the wand at the top. And 1 stack, I'm putting these Hunter cards aside, of the warrior cards. You can see the sword at the top.
So mage cards, warrior cards. Mage. Hunter card over there. Hunter card. Mage. Warrior. Warrior.
So this little stack is all the warrior cards. There's 6 of them in total. I'm just going to shuffle them up a little bit so we make sure we're getting some randomness going on. There's my warrior stack. I'm trying to get this all in the shot where you can see everything that's happening. So now I'll have this is my mage stack, so I'm just going to shuffle it up a little bit. You see my shuffling skills are incredible. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to pick a card. Actually, I'm going to draw the top card from both of these stacks. So you see I have lunge and I have freeze. This one is the warrior card and this one is the mage card. So out of these two, I am going to choose freeze for the mage, and I'm going to add that to my starting deck. Now I take this unselected card and put it at the bottom of the warrior stack face up. That'll let us know when we've gotten back to that card. So I'm going to set these 2 piles to the side here. You won't really be able to see them, but they'll be out of our way. This is my starting hand right here. 2 defense, attack +1, +2, +3, and power, and I just chose the freeze card to add. So now I'm going to shuffle this up some. Okay, so this is my starting deck right here. Now I'm going to take the enemy cards and I'm going to shuffle them a bit. And I'm going to cut them and I'm going to do other things. As I said, the spirit of the deck is still in here. And if I do draw her, I'm going to put her to the side. Now, here's how you select the enemies. So, make sure these have the 1 at the top. That means they're tier 1, your 2 heroes. That's how you start the game. So, you're going to put the side with the 1 at the top on there. And since there's 2 total points in my hero team, I'm going to lay down 2 points of enemies. Now, there's a chance that you may pull a 2nd level enemy and a 3rd, so you'd have 3 total points of enemies. But in this case, we've got just 2 points. And as I said, on my side, the warrior goes in the front column, facing the enemies. And then the rogues go next. So this rogue right here will go behind the warrior. This is the enemy. And then the occultists would generally go last in the marching order because they're the most vulnerable. But in this case right now, we only have 2 cards on each side. If I, for example, pulled 2 warriors, I would put them both in the front column, one above the other. If I pulled 2 rogues, I would put them all in the same column, you see? But anyway, this is a good, nice, even layout. Okay, so the next thing we do to figure the order that everybody goes in, we look here at the speed stat. Now, I'm going to show you real quick on a card what everything is. The yellow right here, this is the speed stat. And this determines, as I said, the order of attack. This right here is health. And the small shield symbol next to it is armor. Up here is your magic stat. And the small icon next to it is your resistance. And then this here is the brawn stat. Now, brawn determines the amount of health you have, and it helps melee attackers when they attack. Magic determines how much resistance you have, and it determines how effective your magical attacks are. And speed, as I said, determines what order the cards go in, and it's used for ranged attacks that rogues use. So that's the basic layout, and of course there's the tier at the top, and it shows the class, which is a rogue in this case. So we've got everything set up, and going by the numbers on our cards, the assassin will go first. So I'm looking at the abbreviations here, and it's the only one with an A. So the assassin, I'm just going to call an A. And then the Templar and the occultist go first. The assassin is a 9. The Templar and the occultist are 5 for speed. So they go next. If you have the heroes and an enemy card are tied for speed, the heroes will go first. And in this case, we'll just have them in order of their marching order. So next we have the Templar. I'm writing a T on the note paper. And then we have the occultist. And then the hollow here, which is basically a zombie, has the lowest speed, which is 4. Okay, so now I've got my cards laid out. And I drew from my deck 3 cards. My little deck right here, which is my heroes deck. Okay, so now, as I said, the assassin gets to go first. Each enemy card, or generally, they have a special ability. The assassin's special ability is they get a critical hit on an 18 plus. Anyway, the assassin is going to attack the occultist and got a 2. So we're going to add the speed stat of the assassin. So a 2 plus 9 is 11. And then the occultist got a 6 plus 5 to dodge is 11. So we got a tie. So that means we're rolling again. You always, if you get a tie, you always roll again unless it's a tie of a 1 or a 20. And then you have a critical, both players have a critical success or a critical failure. Assassin attacks again. They got a 1. Now a 1 is a critical failure. So the assassin loses their next turn. This turn is over and they lose the next turn. Now the Templar is going to attack. And the Templar will use the Empower ability. Empower generally doubles the effectiveness of any ability, including a standard attack. So the Templar is going to use Empower and attack the Hollow. So for warriors, and the Templar is a warrior, you use your brawn stat to add to the attack roll. A 20, a critical hit, plus the brawn stat. But let's see here. There's no way that the Hollow is going to be able to dodge that. So in all physical attacks, you use the speed score to add to the dodge roll. So you just saw the Templar had a critical success and has the Empower card. So that means whatever damage I roll, for the Templar, we roll a D8 plus 3. So that is going to be a 3 plus 3 total. They have D8 plus 3. So that's 6. And then we're timesing that times 4 because we used the Empower card and we had a critical success on the roll. So 6 times 4 is 24. The Hollow has 0 on armor. So they're going to take the full 24 damage. So that leaves them with 6 hit points. And you see, I'm just noting it on the sheet here, the 6. So that was a hard hit. Wow, that was an awesome way to start. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull another card from our hero deck here. And I got another Defend card. So what my occultist is going to do, and I didn't show you that, but when you are done with the card, put it face up at the bottom of the deck so you know when to shuffle. The deck is a little paltry now, but it gets fatter as we go, I promise. So the occultist is going to use the Freeze card and going to attack the Hollow. When an occultist or when a mage attacks, you use the magic stat to add to the attack roll. So we got a 10 plus 9. And then the Hollow got a 6+4. With magical attacks, you add the magic stat. So they got a 6+4. So the Occultist hits. I had freeze, which means that the Hollow is frozen for a turn. So if you remember back, the critical failure of the Assassin lost in the next turn. And now the Hollow is going to be frozen for a turn. And it still does magical damage, the standard damage of the Occultist. So I rolled a 2 + 3 is the Occultist damage bonus, magical damage, which the Hollow has a 1 magic damage resistance. So we have 5 - 1 is 4. So the Hollow is down to 2 hit points and doesn't get to attack this turn, because that just lost him their attack. And if you remember, the Assassin lost their next attack. So now we are back to our side. So the Templar gets to attack again. He's attacking the Hollow. He rolled a 1, critical failure. I'm still rolling for the Hollow in case they rolled, but that means the Templar loses the next turn. Okay, so the Templar doesn't get their next turn. Now the Occultist is going to attack the Hollow. Oh, and I need to draw ability card here. Sometimes I forget. The Occultist will go ahead and use... Well, actually, no. I don't... Yeah, the Occultist will go ahead and use the attack +1. So a 19. There's basically no way the Hollow would have been able to avoid that attack because of how low their magic is. So they're doing the Occultist is doing an attack +1. So 1 + 3, 4, 5, -1 for defense. The Hollow is down. So the Hollow is out of the game. I'm drawing a new card from my hero deck. Okay, Hollow is gone. Now, when an enemy card falls, that means that the next row in line becomes the front row. So that means that it moves forward. So if that was a middle roll, that would mean, whoever was in the back here, if you had a mage on this side, would move forward. So now the Assassin is front line. Okay, the Assassin does get to attack this time. They're finally back in the game. 8 + 9, which is their speed roll, versus the Templar, 12 + 5. 8 + 9, 12 + 5, same roll, so we're rolling again. 12 + 9, 21. 17 + 5, 22. So the Templar did manage to dodge. The Templar is next in line, and they're going to use the +3 attack. Put that at the bottom of my deck. Go ahead and draw a new one. Okay, so Templar using the +3 attack card. Rolled a 5 + 9, which is 14, and a 13 + 9. So the Assassin managed to dodge that. The Occultist is going to use the attack +2 card on the Assassin. Now, if you notice, I'm at the bottom of my deck, so I'm going to shuffle things up a bit. Okay. I'll go ahead and replace that card. Okay, we're back to the attack +3. But anyway, this one is the attack +2. So Occultist rolls 10 plus magic stat is 19. 2 + 10, remember, you always use the magic stat when trying to resist a magical attack. So 2 + 10, so 19 wins. The Occultist hits. Damage will be +2. So 2 + 3, 5 + 2, because of the +2 card, puts us at 7 damage for the Assassin. 21 - 7 = 14. Okay, the Assassin gets to attack again, going to attack the Occultist. 5 + 9 is 14. Uh-oh. Critical failure on the Occultist part. So the Occultist loses their next turn. Now I'm trying to remember, did the Templar... I think I forgot at one point that the Templar lost a turn. So the Templar can lose this turn. to make it all equal. Okay, so anyway, so that means the assassin will attack again. They both lost their turns. 20, attacking the occultist. Okay, so that is a critical hit. The occultist didn't dodge. Fairly obvious, right? So, damage. 2 plus 3, 5 times 2 because of the critical hit. So 10 damage to the occultist. That leaves the occultist with 2 health. Okay, my heroes are back now. They both lost their last turn. So Templar is going to attack. 18 plus 9 versus 11 plus 9. The Templar hits. Templar is going to use the attack plus 3 card. And well, let's see what we get. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9 damage minus 1 armor. So that means the assassin is going to take 8 damage, leaves them with 6 hit points. Or sorry, health. The occultist goes and is going to use the freeze card. 19 plus 9 versus 2 plus 14. So the occultist hits. The freeze card means the assassin is frozen for its next turn. And the assassin takes 2 plus 3, 4, 5 damage and has no resistance. So the assassin has 1 hit point. It's looking pretty bad for the assassin right now. Okay, Templar gets to go again. I'm going to use the Empower card. 8 plus 9 versus 9 plus 9. Assassin dodges. Can you feel the excitement? Okay. Now, let's see. Occultist gets to attack. The occultist is going to use the attack plus 2. 19 plus 9 versus 6 plus 2. You always roll the d20 for every action, for every ability that you play, and for every attack. Even attacks where there are an action where there is no defense, like the heal spell, you roll it in case it's a 20, which would mean the healing effects are doubled. But anyway, the occultist hit, attack plus 2, and our assassin is toast because they only have 1 hit point left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and no magical defense. The assassin is toast. So that was a round of Deck of Darkness. Pretty cool, huh? In the game, there's a total of 5 rounds. And after each round, you get to choose a card. Remember our little hero decks over here? We have our Templar deck and our occultist deck. So since we won that, we get to choose one of these cards. Shock makes enemies lose a turn, and Slash attacks all enemies in the front row. Admittedly, Slash isn't super useful yet because it won't be until the heroes are tier 2 that we have a much higher chance of getting multiple enemies in the front row. So I'm going to choose the Shock card, and I will add it to our little deck over here. And this is the reason our game is a deck builder. And you see I put the unused card at the bottom of the hero deck face up. So we'll know when we run out of cards there and when we're done with those. So that was a whole combat. That one had a lot of interesting rolls in it. It was pretty lucky for the heroes in that one. I think it's generally going to be a little bit harder for them.